in the middle of scraping popcorn ceilings, redoing the insulation of my attic, and wrapping the ductwork. My wife's car has been having issues, and so I get to deal with that today. And I've been dealing with this problem for, I don't know, I feel like a week trying to find a leak. We've taken it to the mechanic. He fixed one leak, and then there's just been this nagging issue of leaking from a valve cover gasket, which I replaced on Friday. And then that threw a code which was indicating that there was some sort of misfire in a few cylinders. So yesterday I wound up replacing all of the plug wires and the spark plugs, and that took care of that issue, but we still have this nagging, leaking issue. And so I'm actually going to go after today the valve cover gaskets, which I replaced on Friday, which was like 3 days ago. And I'm going to go after them again and see where they're leaking and see if I can't fix this issue. So this is one of the things I actually hate to do. I hate working on cars. It's not fun for me. I can do this, but I just don't like doing it. I would rather scrape popcorn off a ceiling than do what I'm about to do. But it's part of life. It's part of the journey. You go to take one step forward and then it's 2 steps backwards. Or is it 2 steps forward, 1 step backward? I don't know, however that works. Either way, today I'm going backwards today. But that's okay. Hopefully we'll fix the leak. So here we go. So we're gonna take this hose off, which is held on by a tie wrap or zip tie, call it whatever you wish. Next, we're gonna go after this throttle cable. Okay, after that we're going to take this PCV valve hose off, breather hose from the intake manifold, like so.
And why is that zip tied on there?
It is zip tied on there because we broke the little tab a long time ago that actually holds this clip in. These other connections have their clips, but I don't need a tweaker to actually get at them because I've taken them off so much. They just kind of have come off. A lot of times when you're working at old cars, they just get brittle and break off, which is what happened here. Sometimes you need to get a little tweaker in here and depress these in order to pull them out, but I do it so much, especially over the last 4 days, it's like they just come off. That hose is going to have some fluid in it, so I want it to come out. Put a bolt in there, prevent that from happening. Next, we're going to take off the throttle body. It's got 2 nuts up here and 2 bolts down here, and then it'll unbolt from the intake. I've done this so much, I actually just labeled the bags and put the bolts where they come from. in the bag that's labeled. These guys are gonna go in this Ziploc bag right here. They hold on some of those cables. And there's a big bracket that I gotta take off. And I'll put those bolts in this same baggie. It says upright bracket, big wire holder, small. So in case you're wondering, if I die and you need to put this back together, it goes in that bag right there.
As long as you know what it means.
I know what it means. The next person's not gonna know what that means, but it works for me. Yeah, this is definitely not a step-by-step. So like if you're here trying to figure out, oh, how do I replace my valve cover gaskets? This is not the video.
How many videos of valve cover gasket replacements did you watch before doing it the first time?
I don't think I watched any.
Maybe that's why we're having problems.
I always cover my battery terminals so that I don't get across them with the end of my ratchet handle, which I think this one, yeah, you really can't see it, but I've done that once or twice. Makes a cool sound. So I'm going after this bracket that's right here. That honestly, since we repaired this hose, doesn't even go back in here. So I probably should just not even put it back. The reason you gotta take this off is because there's a nut down here in the back of the intake manifold that without taking this bracket off, it's really hard to get to. So it's just easier if we remove this bracket. This baggie says intake, and then it says need a new nut for the backside, which was this one, but I put the one on the front and the back. Next thing that we have to do is I need to take this clamp off this upper radiator hose, slide this back, and then loosen some of these bolts from the timing cover so that I can have some room to remove the valve covers when they come off, when we get ready to take those off. So we're going to slide this guy back. I think, yeah, that'll give me enough play. So since my antifreeze is leaking right there, I'm going to go ahead and just shove this rag up underneath here. That way it'll help catch it. So next we're going to have to remove these coil packs. I should probably unplug these first. I'll go ahead and remove these coil pack bolts. Seems like we were just here yesterday.
Totally just there yesterday.
It's got these little tabs down here, so you just kind of slip your pick in and it kind of pops that plastic part off the rubber boot. And you pull that guy out. It just rides on that little lip edge right there. Pull this guy out. There you go. There's your wire. So we're just going to remove the other side of the plug wires. So next we're going to have to go after the valve cover bolts themselves. There's 8. There's 4 in the bottom, there's 4 in the top, there, and then there's 1 in the back by this wonderful bracket that I love back there. And there's some up underneath this wiring harness, but I don't have to take the fuel rail off, so that's a good thing. This lovely car. 2001, 338,000 miles. I mean, just look. I changed the timing belt at 310,000 miles. And I don't have to do it again for the 390 until that hits 390,000 miles. That'll be the next time I have to get underneath there. I mean, Jesus can come back. That is your goal.
That is my goal. I don't want another car until after Jesus comes back.
You won't need a car when Jesus comes back. Why would you need a car?
There's my point.
it looks like something was leaking down here. I'll pull the gasket out. I will clean this really well with brake cleaner. I'll do the same with over there. And then I got some gray RTV sealant, not the red kind. And we will dab some probably here, and definitely probably in the corners.
So the valve cover's back on.
Valve cover's back on. Same thing, 8 bolts, rinse and repeat. It's kind of like popcorn sealing. Well, it looks like obviously it was leaking down there. You can see the pool of oil right there. This is the side the smoke was coming out because it was coming off and it was actually hitting that exhaust pipe right there. Maybe they just weren't tight, but again, you know, I'll put some of that RTV sealant. I kind of feel like, I don't know if you can see this.
What?
But like right down in there, I feel like it was coming down and that, like right in there, it almost looks like it was leaking out maybe. Because this is kind of caked in oil. This is the passenger side valve cover that's been giving us fits in regards to just leaking. And so, you know, we removed it and I was out here and I was like, okay, I'm gonna clean all this up and I'm gonna remove so I started removing the gasket like this and I was just like, you know, just kind of following it along like so, and you see now, like the corner, literally, just falls. The whole corner of this valve cover broke. I've never seen a valve cover break before. I didn't drop this. I didn't ding the corner on something. I mean, it doesn't look like there's a thin spot when this was cast. I have no idea why this literally broke off. This was torqued down to 5 foot-pounds last time I did this, which was 3 days ago. 5 foot-pounds. That's nothing. Okay, so it is day 2 of dealing with the valve cover, the leak in Shelly's car, which, as I've shown before, this part from the valve cover itself actually broke off. How that happens, I have no idea. But we just ordered another one, and so hopefully we're gonna measure and make sure that this guy actually lines up with the holes on this one. Should be correct because this new one has the hole for the hole for the PCV valve, so I think it's correct. Oh, this one came with a new gasket. Look at that. I didn't even know that. I was like, hey, what's kind of going on here? So it came with its own gasket, which is good, I guess. I don't know how they feel about this. This is made in China and Toyota's made in Japan, so I don't know how that'll go, but probably fine. Okay, we are gonna put this rubber grommet in this hole, and we're gonna put the PCV valve back in, and where that rubber grommet goes, and then hopefully everything, we'll put some Permatex around this guy, and then install it. Hold your mouth just right and put it on.
Without
quickly.
Smearing goo everywhere.
Without smearing goo everywhere. Correct.
You need help hold anything?
I don't think so. Ah, already got goo. The dipstick for the transmission.
And that's something you gotta touch again.
Oh, really?
More good.
Yeah, on my arm. All right, so yeah, right there. That mechanic son of yours, like he even color coded the bolts. So let's see, yellow is here. Silver one's up here. Red one. Remember, these little covers just kind of slide over and grab on the front of that. When we first got this vehicle, it had 114,000 miles on it. And this throttle position sensor was bad. But the only way to order this sensor, which is like a $30 part, is you had to order the entire throttle body. Should we leave it?
No, you gotta cut the tails.
Oh, you don't? Okay.
Never leave tails, it's tacky. Can you imagine turning all of this with an open end box and wrench?
You can see your mileage. 338, 615. Just an update on the car fix. The valve covers are not leaking, so there's no more oil leak, which is great. There's a slight leak. I think it might be coming from where the transmission meets the back of the motor, because what I'm feeling is something slick. It's not oil. But it's so small that we're just going to keep an eye on it and see how it progresses. But other than that, the car is fixed. It's running well. We've tested it for about 4 days now, and there's no oil leak, so it's probably safe to say I can put the skid plates back on and call this project done.